Was that Val Kilmer that had the nipples on, or was that George Clooney that had the nipples?
I can't remember if it was Clooney or... I'll tell you what, I'll just put in a still frame right here
Right.
of who's right, and now
everybody knows. The joke is complete. I don't know if it's true, but there's a rumor that in the first Ghostbusters, Bill Murray improv'd most of the entire movie. With the exception of like certain parts where you can tell like this is clearly scripted, but like when he's just kind of bantering, apparently he was just coming off the top of his fucking head.
Because he's Bill Murray.
Because he's Bill Murray.
I hope that's true.
And I'm like, well, that's cool because Bill Murray, to my knowledge, was never like a stand-up comic or anything. He didn't like get on.
He's just sort of a witty guy. That's what I appreciate about him.
I think I read that he would go out. Him and Paul Schaefer would go out and do their lounge singer act, and that was like he would go to stand up festivals or something going on in town. That's all stand ups and all of his friends.
Yeah.
And he would just sing a song.
Because he can do that.
Yeah.
He's Bill Murray. He can show up as whatever. Who cares?
Joking or doing a funny song. He would just sing a song with Paul Schaefer.
Have you seen the Bill Murray Christmas special?
That was pretty
One
good.
of my favorite things.
That was really good.
Because some of it is comedy, but some of it is just him singing like a Christmas carol, like with Bill Clooney.
Bill Clooney.
Bill, you know what? I want to meet the person named Bill Clooney. I imagine they're like...
There's a tuxedo.
There's a tuxedo, they played Batman and got a blowjob at the same time. That's...
In other words, he's who we all want.
He's who we all want to be, and we should all strive to be. That's who that is. That's Bill Clooney. Find the Bill Clooney in you know?
Bill Clooney, I have a whole list. I'm like a 40-year-old mother of three. Like, my brain... Every time I think of Aaron Sorkin, I always say Andy Sorkin. So I have a whole list of non-celebrity names that I just want.
That's okay. I'm like a 60-year-old grandpa that's like Andy, Andrew, Andrew. No,
come on, now, you know your name, boy. Now, come on, now.
That's when you just go, hey.
Hey, you just call somebody a random name and
yell, shout loudly, and I'll.
Or just do like, hey, Kumasabi.
I will say, I do get people that forget my name. It's fine because I know that Cliff can start out, like you can get Cliff forgotten and confused with something else. So I'll respond to Cliff, obviously. My full name is Clifton. I'll respond to Clifton. I'll be weirded out if you call me Clifton because I'll be like, all right,
Clifton.
who did you talk to my mom today?
Am I in trouble?
Am I in trouble? Like, I mean, I know I'm 30, but like, come on. I'll respond to Clint, Clay, Chris. I've gotten Quint, which I didn't think Quint was a name.
I mean, I've known
Quint's kind of cool.
Quint's kind of Quentin's up. Yeah, I know some Quint. Quint, no, I'm not.
Quint was the old fisherman in Jaws.
Really?
That drove the boat and fought the shark.
His name was Quint?
His name was Quint.
Interesting. You know there's like 5 Jaws movies?
Yeah.
And they don't need to be 5 Jaws.
I saw 4 of those in the theater.
Why? Why did you do this?
I saw Jaws 3D in the theater. And that is literally the worst movie I've ever seen in the theater. I have seen some bad movies, but Jaws 3.
Jaws 3, yeah.
Even the 3D was lame.
Yeah, that's...
There was one part where the guts fall off the table, and I was like, ugh. And that's...
that was the extent of your emotional range that day. You're like,
And then it comes on TV.
They had to cut that part out. So
It's too terrifying.
It's like, wait, here's the part where I went, you can't show that on TV.
You can't show that.
You're right.
Okay. Sorry for dragging you out here. I don't know why I thought having a dinner for Jaws 3D would have been a good idea.
This comes back to unnecessary sequels.
I'm telling you. Now I will say, okay. Now I'm going to say it's twofold. Now, I'm against unnecessary sequels, okay? I really am. I hate them. It doesn't need to exist. Like the new Avatar sequels where there's going to be 3 sequels. Not 3 total movies. No, 3 additional movies. I'm like, fuck off. But I love a good prequel.
A good prequel is good.
A good prequel.
Now, there has to be some exceptions. Are there any sequels that you like?
There are, and I will say there are a lot of sequels I don't. Because
you said unnecessary. That doesn't mean all sequels.
So,
I'm just curious.
All right. So as far as sequels go, I'm trying to think.
Personally, I like Aliens.
Okay.
Almost better than the original. Almost.
The Aliens. It's hard to compare those two because they're 2 different types of movies. The first Alien movie is a horror movie. Aliens is action.
You're right.
Sci-fi action. So it's the same goes with Terminator 1 and Terminator 2.
And maybe that's part of the sequel. The secret of doing a decent sequel is to not compete with the original.
Yeah.
I was about to say
shit
the
on the
exact
legacy.
same thing. Is don't try to be the same thing. Don't
Blade
try to
Runner.
make up
The new Blade Runner.
Dude.
Boy.
Dude.
That's a different movie.
Dude.
I don't see it as a continuation of the original, really. That is its own movie, and it was fan-freaking-tastic. It was really good.
And you can watch it without... A good sequel, you should be able to watch without having watched the first one.
That's it. I think you're right. Mad Max. I thought the new Mad Max that came out a few years ago touched almost the greatness of some of those sequels because it did its own thing.
Boondock Saints 2 was not terrible.
It was not.
If you have to describe a movie that way, it shouldn't have existed. It shouldn't have existed.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Have you listened to the podcast, How Did This Get Made?
No.
It's funny.
It's about movies that should not have been made.
Their Birdemic live episode is really good. If you only listen to one, the Birdemic one, it's one of the most useless movies.
Birdemic.
Oh, Birdemic is one of the truly worst movies ever made.
Now I've got to watch it because, okay, here's the next part. I love awful movies.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Like Sharktopus. You ever seen Sharktopus?
I saw Sharktopus.
It's a pile of garbage. I own the movie. It's at my house right now.
What is it? Sharktopus versus Wolf something. It was like half wolf.
Yeah. Oh God.
That was the last one I saw. I haven't seen one since. But boy.
And then of course you got your Sharknadoes, which and they have all kinds of unnecessary sequels.
Now aren't they going back to the Renaissance, like medieval times?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's really dumb.
I'm a connoisseur of bad movies. I used to be an Oscar fan, and then I just decided, that's good. This is more time I can watch bad movies.
Right. I'll say this. Okay. One of the worst sequels, Men in Black 2.
Yeah.
One of the best sequels, Men in Black 3.
Really?
I agree.
I almost cried in Men in Black 3.
It really touched on the character of who the main Tommy Lee Jones' character.
Men in Black 3. Almost cried in this movie. Legitimate, genuine. And you're right. It expands on his character so much, and it gives him a full arc, which that's necessary. You need to.
Brolin killed his Tommy Lee Jones a young Tommy Lee Jones. I believed it every second.
Speaking of Brolin, go back to Marvel. One of the worst sequels ever made, Iron Man 2.
Oh,
bad movie, not a good movie. One of the best sequels, Iron Man 3. It's.
Well, honestly, I feel like James Bond movies go through this. Quantum of Solace. Shitty movie. Just all around awful movie.
Skyfall.
Right after Skyfall, unbelievable.
Skyfall was
Spectre, unfucking believable. Like both good, but Quantum of Solace.
Mission Impossible did the same thing. The second Mission Impossible?
I think the second Mission Impossible was the one I liked. That was by great Asian director.
Not Justin Lin.
No, he directed some of the seminal.
I feel like this is such a dangerous moment.
No.
Oh yeah, this is bad territory we're in right now. So maybe I'm not going to contribute because I don't want to also.
The killers. Chow Yun-fat. I don't know. I can't wrap my brain around it. He's one of the great directors. He did the second one, and I thought it was great because of him. The rest of them, I had no use for, really. I mean, the first one was okay.
Have you seen any of the recent ones?
I think I watched the last one.
Because, is it Ghost Protocol?
Oh, that was the one, yeah.
It's got Robin Thicke's ex-wife. Paula
Patton. Great moment in it.
Paula Poundstone? Paula Patton. That's it.
Yeah, Paula Poundstone's stand-up comedy.
Yeah, okay, never mind. No, Paula Poundstone wasn't
she's
banging.
on NPR.
She's on NPR. She was not banging Robin
Thicke. They
Thicke.
were on the show, though.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm not saying that Paula Poundstone didn't bang Robin Thicke. I'm saying that I don't know for a fact that she did, so I'm thinking of Paula Patton. That's what I'm thinking of. Not to say that Paula Poundstone can't get Robin Thicke. Whatever. Don't sue me.
She's still quite attractive for her age.
Yes. Helen Mirren is also quite attractive.
Oh my God.
She's like 114 years old, and I'd throw it to her today.
You see the
right
picture
now.
from the Oscars that's been going around the internet lately? No. It's a picture of her in a beautiful Oscar dress. I mean, she's looking great. And it's like, this is Helen Mirren after drinking 3 shots of tequila before the Oscars.
That's who I want to be when I'm like 80.
Oh, yeah. And she's just beautiful.
Oh, she always has been.
But I feel the same way about Dame Judi Dench. Like,
yeah,
she is badass.
She's classy. Like, she's
classy.
Like very classy.
Yeah.
There's people. I mean, they say fine wine. I think like George Clooney's obviously like one of those people that like the older he gets, the better looking he'll be.
And he's kind of a guy's guy.
Yeah, he's a guy's guy. Like,
hangs out with Bill Murray.
Hangs out with Bill Murray. Now, Bill Murray aged terribly. But Bill Murray actually wasn't one of the great things about him. He was never like a traditionally handsome guy.
Right. I'd still bang him.
Right, but you kind of like you meet Bill Murray and it's like if you have the chance, you're gonna try to do it. I would try to do it. You gotta try to do it. Like, hey man, like I ain't in the dudes, but like you try to fuck. No, all right, it's cool.
I saw him on the streets of Charleston once.
Why? Okay, there's something. First of all, that's amazing. Why was he just on this?
He lives in Charleston. He has a house in Charleston.
I didn't know that.
And I was down there with my boyfriend at the time. I was at this college. We were walking down the sidewalk, and this guy was coming toward us, and I kept thinking, that guy looks really familiar.
Yeah.
But I couldn't place it, because, I didn't have his movie makeup on.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And so I was just, like, kind of staring at him, because I was trying to place him.
Right.
And we were passing each other, and he was about right here, like, looking down at me. Because I guess I was staring at him.
Right.
And as soon as he got past me, I went, Bill Murray!
Bill Murray! Come barreling at him like 30 miles an hour. You tackle the shit out of it.
And Bill's like, here it comes. She's going to turn around.
But I didn't.
Do you know who has a house? You probably already know this, but for those listening and watching, in Morristown, Tennessee, 50 minutes away from here, Harrison Ford has a house. My friend saw him helping direct traffic once. Like, I guess the street lights or the light.
Harrison Ford.
He's Harrison Ford. Whatever. This was before the new Star Wars movies came out, so he wasn't doing shit. He was still trying to get over the
Traffic is important, okay?
It's very important. He was still reeling off of the disaster that was the new,
Indiana
Crystal
Jones.
Skulls. Yeah, Indiana Jones. He was still trying to get over that, so he's like, I'll try my hand at.
Actually, what's the town? It's between Asheville and Hot Springs.
That's just
they have a picture. They have a picture of him coming in. But I met a guy at Carnegie Hotel one night who taught Harrison Ford how to fly a helicopter.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I was like, yeah, it wasn't. I wish there was more to the story.
See, that bit of knowledge. If I was Harrison Ford, when you got the clout that Harrison Ford has, you can just do whatever you want. He has a pilot's license. He should just be driving a helicopter around, landing in Walmart parking lots.
What he should be is like work for the hospital. Like you're dying, your guts are spilling out, and there's Harrison Ford.
It's all right.
It's all right. Oh shit! Hey, baby! Hey, it's Harrison Ford!
Can we get a selfie?
Hold my small intestines real fast. Hold up. Harrison Ford did this.
Would you sign this?
You sign my lower intestines. Hey, this spleen, I ain't gonna do shit with this spleen. You trying to sign this spleen? Hey, baby! Hey!
We can email the hell out of this. My favorite quote about Harrison Ford, Martin Scorsese said when Harrison Ford became big after Star Wars that Hollywood lost its best carpenter. He was a carpenter, did all the celebrities' homes, and he was a great carpenter.
I just want to point out that you said when he got big, like I thought, did he go through a fat period? I don't remember.
I don't think Harrison Ford ever went through a fat period. I know that, Val Kilmer went through a fat period. I don't know if he's still in it, but good God.
He was hard to recognize as Val Kilmer.
He looked like he ate the Batman suit. Like, the whole thing.
Nipples and all. Oh,
just ate it. Was that Val Kilmer that had the nipples on, or was that George Clooney that had the nipples?
I can't remember if it was Clooney or... I'll tell you what. I'll just put in a still frame right here
Right.
of who's right, and now everybody
knows the joke is complete. I just feel like I was thinking today. I was driving. I was listening to some music, and do you know who the Brat is? Yeah. The rapper. She's been around for 20-something years at this point now.
Which is the only reason I know who she is.
Well, she's. If she's not in her 40s now, I would be surprised because I'm 31 and there's no way she's only 9 years older than me. There's just no way. Anyways, I was thinking, you know what? I don't think the Brat's made an album in probably a decade, but she's just living life, just hanging out, living her life, and I'm like, man, there's a point where like you become so famous that you just don't have to do anything anymore,
right?
Including the thing that made you famous.
Like truth though, and that's blown me away. Like, who was it? I saw on TV recently. Who was it? Brain damage. I can't remember. It was one of those actors that did the Oscar caliber performance once,
right?
And now just seems to like turn up on TV as themselves. Who was that?
James Franco? Because he seems to only do what he wants.
He seems to only...
I will say though, James Franco is also a professor. He teaches a class at like USC in California.
That's awesome.
He does. I will say that.
That does not surprise me actually at all.
I just wonder if like celebrities, like I think he chooses to do that though. I don't think he has to. So that's the thing. Like, what are these celebrities doing once they reach the point of like superstardom? What are they doing anymore?
I saw there's a great documentary on Netflix right now about Jim Carrey talking about playing Andy Kaufman in Man on the Moon. Yeah. Really good documentary. I'm a big movie nut. I like the behind the scenes stuff almost more than I like movies.
It's awesome.
And he's talking about, he's making $21 million a movie. And now he doesn't do anything. That's who I was trying to think of. He doesn't do anything.
He's an artist now.
He sits around and he has withdrawn from all of the negativity and stuff that he saw in Hollywood, and he just kind of stays home and thinks about his own creativity.
But he could never be a normal guy though.
That's true.
He'll always be Jim Carrey. If he walked in here right now, I would lose my shit. I'd be like, what the hell? Jim Carrey? Holy shit,
Well, it's funny you should say that because we have Jim Carrey.
Oh, God. But it's funny, the Olsen twins also did that.
Mm-hmm.
And their younger sister is, an actress now, and she's in the Avengers movies and stuff like that. But like, they are so famous that she is famous. Yeah. Whereas when they see her, they're like, "Oh, cool." But the Olsen twins, though, right?
Tell us about your sisters.
Tell us about your sisters.
Yeah. The thing is, with Olsen twins or any sort of sibling thing like that, if my brother ever became a multimillionaire, I'd be fucking pissed if he didn't take care of me.
Right.
Like,
you gotta have to.
Yeah. Come on. Buy me $100,000 house. It ain't gotta be big.
Well, it ain't gotta be that big.
My student loans, alright? Just chill out.
I would rather just somebody pay for my student loans.
Yes.
Just fuck a house. I'll live in the box if I have to. Pay my student loans off. We're good.
Yeah.
God, yeah. But you're right. Like, I feel like these people, like, okay, so Dakota Fanning's younger sister is an actress now.
Oh, she was isn't Dakota Fanning's younger sister, isn't she the 50 Shades of Grey girl? No.
I don't know.
No. Maybe.
No, that's not. But they have a similar name or something like that.
Yeah,
their name is like...
And she's also related to like a Hollywood family.
But like, you see these famous people, and like, I've never heard of someone just totally like cold shoulder in their family. But like, that would be so fucked up if you hit it big, you become successful, whatever, and then you're like, oh, also fuck you, mom. Like, I don't give a shit that you're living in this dumpster.
Yeah. Okay, I get that you're not going to pay for your third cousin's boob job.
Look at this mansion I bought my dog, though.
Right. But like, I know I don't have a dog yet, but I'm gonna get one. Wait a minute. Yeah, but I think I am one of 6 siblings.
Wow.
6 children. We don't all have the same like mom and dad, but I think that if I were to ever become quote unquote famous or rich, I would definitely help out I would only not help one of my siblings. I would only because I ain't seen the dude in like 2 decades, not joking, 20 years. It's been since I've seen. No, more than 20 years because I remember I was so young, it was socially acceptable for me to be hanging out in the living room with guests in just my underwear. That's how long ago it was. So whatever age that that's okay, that's how young I was.
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Okay, so that's the last time I saw the motherfucker. So he's not getting shit. Everybody else, whatever. I think I've thought about this. Like, all right, if I ever became like rich or whatever, I'd definitely help out family and stuff. And I think the first thing I would have to do would be pay off student loans. It's so weird that's the first
that's
thought.
the first thing that's for me.
But it's like, no, I need to pay that shit off because it's a lot.
Well, and I do think it's interesting, though. I know you're not from Tennessee, but you're from South Carolina, and I feel like it's probably the same thing, is that when you're from a place that doesn't necessarily have the best sex education, you do have to pare down who you'd help. Because I know I've got a billion fucking cousins, and I love them all, but at some point, I'd just be like...
too many.
Nope.
Yep. And there will always be
Can't
cousins
do it.
coming out because people think that it's better to just teach don't have sex and then teach use a condom. Like, well, have sex, that's fine. Protect yourself. Don't keep creating humans.
Stop that shit.
We're not good at humaning, all right? We're fucking up the planet. Don't make more of us.
It's like we've already screwed it up enough.
We're just screwed it up enough.
That's what I get annoyed when I meet people who are like, my children are my gift for God. And I'm like, you've got 10 children.
Are you sure about that? A gift was 8 kids ago.
Now you almost need a return policy.
Right. God. They say, I was reading a thing, when I'm at work, I won't say the name of the place I work. So that was actually a point I had earlier. So a lot of times when you have a person that's like an actor or a stand-up comic, unless they just have a bunch of money already, they probably also have something they do, your side hustle, your day job, whatever it is. So I work for a call center. I forgot totally where I was going with that point. What were we talking about just now?
We're talking about babies, 10 babies.
Too many babies.
Too many babies, the earth dying.
That's right. Okay, so when I'm at work, I'll when I'm not taking calls, I'll just get on, like Yahoo News or something, or whatever. And I was reading this thing it was by Stephen Hawking, I think, and he was basically, he always has some depressing thing to say about humanity, but he was like, basically, we have 500 years left on this earth, and I'm like, shit.
We fucked.
Good thing I can't last 500 years. A good thing I'll be dead.
What's this?
So, whatever. But they keep throwing this sulfuric acid out the window and just, whatever.
I don't know if does this help you? And that kind of thinking depresses me on a human level, but on an artist level, I'm like, well, fuck it. I don't have to get a 40-hour-week job.
No, really, seriously, because you're thinking, you know what? They're right. Life is short. We're all going to die.
Yeah.
All of it. And it's
every single one of us.
I'm not paying back these medical bills.
Fuck it. I'm not paying for this 3-piece suit. I just got it. That Walmart? Fuck it. I'm just walking out with this bitch. We're gonna die one day, bro. I don't need to pay for this dinner.
Why are we all looting?
Why? Because we're gonna die sometime at some point, eventually. So of course I'm stealing your TV out of your living room. Because I needed it before I die. Before you die.
Watch Breaking Bad.
I know I've already watched it several times over. Fuck you. I want this TV. You can watch it with me at my house.
Just come.
Yeah, no, that's I feel you though, because it kind of motivates you a little bit to just to focus on your art, whatever that is. And I think when you become an adult, you lose sight of it. You can lose sight of it because it's ingrained in you. You have to work 40-hour job. You have to make X amount of money and achieve these things. You have to have kids and 401k and all that stuff. And it's like, well, if I had any faith in our social security system, I'd put more stock in that. But it's not really important. That stuff could crash tomorrow, and then everybody's just kind of fucked anyway. So why not focus your time and energy on stuff you want?
And in case it does crash, fiefdom starting over in Johnson City, my parents' place. Just want to let you all know you're welcome to come. We'll start an army.
I can knit, I can sew, I can,
See?
Those are my post-apocalyptic skill sets.
Yeah. I gotta get good at throwing a javelin. I feel like that's gonna be a real...
And that would look badass.
Right? Have my dreads and just throwing a javelin.
When it's post-apocalyptic, it's more important to look really cool.
That's true.
You gotta look... Very true.
You just scare off people that are going to mess with you.
What I hope happens if we enter a post-apocalyptic era is I just hope everyone gets crazy tattoos for, everyone has a tattoo, on their face.
That'll be required for the farm.
Yeah.
You're getting face tatted.
Yeah.
Because you gotta make sure you're in the right team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll say something like Bazooka Joe. I don't know.
Just something real inconspicuous. Like, all right, well, it says, I don't know, but they all have javelins. And that one dude's just posing.
Gum. Stab with a javelin.
Yeah, guys, I got
Have you
him.
seen that jousting is trying to join Olympics?
No. Why?
Like on the back of a horse kind of jousting?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, jousting is resurging.
Really?
This is what
I know.
happens when you let the historical reenactors go too far.
You shouldn't give them any hope. You need to quash it.
Huzzah!
You know, honestly, I will say I don't mind that someone's good at jousting. Or
I think
does that.
jousting is cool.
It's cool, but how did they arrive at the notion that they're good at it? Like,
Yeah.
at some point they weren't jousting, and then they were jousting.
Jousting.
What happened in the middle where they just were like practicing, just like
Well, here's
in their
what
car?
I have a question. They've done it now where you don't kill someone if you do it.
Useless.
But
I'm out.
that's what I'm
Uninterested.
saying. How do you know if you're good at it if you don't fucking kill someone?
Maybe.
You aim for. I've actually been to a Renaissance fair or two, if I may. You have to hit in the center of the shield and unhorse your opponent.
I mean, I'm all for.
Kill him!
You better get off your horse and stab that motherfucker right now.
Right in the head. Stab him. We're not even jousting anymore. Go to his house while he's asleep before the tournament.
We're purging!
God. Shh. No. Golly. I actually, you know what pisses me off about the movie The Purge? Back to movies. I had the idea for that movie like 10 years ago. I was like, man, what if there was just like a day you could just fucking do whatever you felt like?
That's awesome.
What if? And then I lived the rest of my life. I don't know. Whatever. I just forgot about it. And then the movie came out. I was like, oh man, I guess I should have done something about that.
I do that with inventions all the time. Like, oh, I have this great idea about how to make sure your sink doesn't overflow if your thing is dripping. And then next thing I know, there's one of those shitty, whoa, I can't hold my beer kind of infomercials.
Well, back to movies. What are your favorite movies so far this year?
This year?
Yeah.
All right,
This year, do you
come
mean
out
in the
this year?
last 2 months?
Yeah.
There actually have been some movies that have come out.
I was just saying, recent memory. Whatever.
Actually, well, can I ask a quick question before
Go ahead.
that? Have you seen Downsizing?
I have not seen
Actually,
Downsizing.
now that we've been
actually.
talking about the Earth dying and all that bullshit, Downsizing fits into that.
I've
But
heard of that.
You should see it. It got very bad reviews.
Oh.
But people are dumb.
That's true. That is true. I'll give you that. I'll say my favorite recent films. Obviously, Black Panther came out last month in February. I don't know when this episode will come out, but Black Panther came out. Great to see representation. Awesome. It's a pretty formulaic movie. It's not gonna.
It's a Marvel movie.
It's a Marvel movie, but it's a particularly different and unique Marvel movie, which it's good for them. It's made at this point just under $1 billion. It's been out for 3 weeks,
Jeez.
so it's a powerhouse of a movie. But anyways, so that was good. I loved Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, without a doubt.
Taika
I'm with you.
Waititi, the director, is fucking incredible.
Yeah,
he did Flight of the Conchords. He's done all sorts of stuff. He's amazing.
God.
The Things We Do in the Shadows is one of my favorite vampire
Have you
movies
seen
of all
that?
time.
I've not seen that.
Highly recommended. It's on Amazon Prime right now. It's
It's a mockumentary.
It's the vampire mockumentary that we didn't know we needed, and it's becoming a TV series. They're making it into. They're taking the cops from it, and it's going to be a TV series about the cops from this movie.
Interesting.
And it's. I highly recommend it. It's got Jermaine Clements and
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the other vampire.
But sorry. Oh, there's Rhys Darby, who is the Wolverine.
Oh right.
But yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
But I
no,
love Taika Waititi.
Yeah,
And
no,
Thor-
that's.
But Thor Ragnarok really hit on some stuff that Marvel hadn't done before. They let them have a little bit of fun.
Right. I will say it was almost, not that anyone cares, it was almost to the detriment of the character himself because it wasn't a Thor movie. This is not a Thor movie we watched if you watch Thor
Taika
Ragnarok.
Waititi is not a superhero filmmaker.
Nope. But it worked, and you know what? That's cool. Whatever. I did watch and thoroughly enjoyed Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was the best Star Wars movie that has ever come out.
Is that the one that's come out most recently?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it this week. I haven't seen it yet.
Not the Han Solo one,
No.
because that hadn't come out yet.
The one that
The
came
one
out
that came-
during last year's holiday season.
Okay, yeah, The Last
I haven't seen it
Jedi.
yet.
Okay, I
Yeah.
will not spoil anything
I was
for
just
you.
warning you.
I'm glad you said that because I definitely was about to spoil the whole thing. I will say this: I think it's the best, other than like Return or what is it? Empire Strikes Back.
Empire? Yeah.
It's the best Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I did have one. I wish she had seen it because I have one massive problem with a character that was sent on an adventure. Try to not give anything away. Sent on an adventure that was only to keep them busy. It seemed to me.
Oh, actually, I think I may have already heard about this because my mom watched it and she.
Yeah.
I'll say a lot of their side plots were just busy work.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Isn't that just adulthood?
Yep. It really is.
All our side plots are busy
Yep.
work.
I want to see John Boyega get that role. I want to see him get that thing he was born to do.
Yeah,
And because I think he's kind of wasted in the Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is just awesome. I really like everything he's done and everything he does in the movies. It's just not come along yet.
Well, Pacific Rim Uprising's coming out.
Oh, that's right. He's
the
main
lead.
character.
He's the lead. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Now that movie should, by all intents and purposes, be garbage because it is just an unnecessary sequel of a movie that came out 5 years ago.
And I love the original.
I love. Yeah, it's awesome. Big fucking monsters versus big fucking robots. What else do you need?
Nothing.
Nothing. You die after you watch it. Like you.
Well, what I want to know, did you all see King Kong? The new Kong movie? Was it good?
I thought it was good.
I haven't seen it. I didn't see it because I was worried.
Yeah,
Well-
I forgot about it actually.
I'll say this. Okay, you're correct. You are correct. You did forget about it. It's good. That is as far as it goes because it is a standard action movie with a big monkey.
Well, and what I wondered is, because it has so many great actors in it, there's part of me that wanted it to be so good, but I was so worried.
I mean, you'll like Samuel L. Jackson's character in it. You kind of feel where he's coming from a little bit, and he's a great villain, obviously, Samuel L. Jackson. It's not going to, like... You may want to watch it again afterwards. I would, only because I like the MonsterVerse that they're making, because you know they're going to do the new King Kong vs. Godzilla movie in 2020.
No,
Yes.
how had I not heard about
Dude,
this?
I don't care who's in that movie, what happened.
care.
I will be there first day. Like, I've been waiting for that movie since I was a kid. So...
I'm digging into the internet the moment we're done here.
Oh yeah, because they've got
Oh my God.
it's Godzilla King of Monsters that comes out I think next year, and it's just him versus like
Right.
Mothra and whomever else they'll have Godzilla face. But then King
I
Kong,
think that's going to be the movie that the first one was like the prologue. This is going to be the movie
This'll
that
be the-
starts it.
yep, and it'll be like people will like because the other one got shit on a little bit because people said it's too slow and they don't show, and it's like, well, the movie was about building suspense.
Right.
They may have done a little too much with suspense building, but I enjoyed it. I own that movie.
I got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
It's bringing out Godzilla in a huge fashion. It's
Right.
like lead up and then boom,
Boom.
and that's all you get.
That's it. And, and you get more of, I will say in King Kong, they do rectify that problem. I don't think it's a problem, but they rectify that issue, and they show King Kong immediately.
Oh, that's
He
cool.
is immediately fucking shit
Yeah.
up. Like, you get there on the island,
Don't
and
feel
it's,
that. It's just,
whew, man, it's bad. The only buildup is the fact that, like, they're not on the island at first, and then they are on the island. The moment they step foot on that island, it's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We'll watch it on the big screen.
That's right.
I got the projector downstairs. So
Nice.
we'll watch it on the big screen.
Oh my god. Well, so here's a question, and I meant to ask this earlier. If you had to pick two comedians who sort of helped shape you as a comedian, or as a writer, or as a production person, who would you say that is?
It's unfortunate that you asked me to pick two, because one of them I have no trouble at all getting behind. Okay, so the first one's Dave Chappelle. You can tell if you watch anything I do, or just like listen to me talk, or just interact with me, he's an influence in my whole life. I was a kid when he had the Chappelle Show come out, listened to his stand up. I memorized him, and even when like in the 80s, Eddie Murphy, like his stand up was fucking classic. That being said, it sucks that this person is a piece of shit. It sucks because they influenced me so much growing up, and just especially when I first started comedy. But Louis C.K.
Yeah.
I'm conflicted about that.
But putting the problems aside, Louis C.K. has to be done some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen.
Well, and also, this is an interesting conversation that I've had with myself a lot, is Like, I love Woody Allen and Roman Polanski films. Are they pieces of shit?
Yep.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I get that pull of the art is still good though.
Right, because I mean, not a single person living that has seen the 1979 Bill Cosby special, not a person living will say that is a bad special.
No,
in fact,
fantastic.
you probably quoted that special your whole childhood and didn't realize the motherfucker was out here just drugging people. Like, just, and it sucks.
It stuns me because I grew up with himself as like one of the cornerstones of what I thought comedy was.
But the thing was, that it was in that moment. It was in years later. Obviously, it comes out. He's just a monster. But it's like, man. So does that negate what I felt, what I experienced back then? I don't think it necessarily does because it did have an impact on you.
Right.
Louis C.K. I can still quote. I can't remember what the name. Live at the Beacon Theater, I think. I can still quote most of that entire special. Still can. Saw him live in Asheville several years ago. Loved the dude. Honestly, for me, I can't get behind. I don't listen to him anymore. I don't even acknowledge him anymore. I'm like, dude, you're a piece of shit. That sucks that you influenced me so much in comedy and in writing. He wrote Pootie Tang in the 90s. He's a writer on Pootie Tang.
I saw that in the theater.
Right? And that was kind of the beauty with Louis C.K.
Never would have guessed that.
He could write from different types of voices. So Pootie Tang is a movie marketed to black people. That's what the movie is. And it's funny, but it's weird. Not that great. Just like when you look at it, you're like, oh, this is kind of strange. But it's funny. That was the beauty of him. He could write from different perspectives and different voices. But at the same time, he was jerking off in front of people, without their permission. It's like, well, I can't overlook. I'm sorry, I can no longer overlook. So I will say the bigger influence was Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle. Yeah. Always will be. If it comes out that he was eating babies in the 80s, you know what? Fuck it. I'm sorry. I can't overlook. It is what it is. He ate babies. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's still an influence.
Still an influence.
The best of what they do can be hopefully a positive influence. I mean, Richard Wagner was a terrible anti-Semite during his life.
One of my favorite authors, major anti-Semite.
Yeah.
But
and it does. And I think that what we do with celebrities, and not at all, I want to be very clear, not making any excuses. I want to make sure that this is very clear. I'm not making any excuses for any celebrity. But what we do as basically a consumer, we are the consumer. We are ingesting their art. We are consuming it. So we are their consumer. As consumers, we forget that these people are fucking people.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about, I will say this about artists, and this is probably true of everyone, every human being ever living, is everyone is kind of shitty.
Yep.
And artists particularly, and I say this personally, I feel like I'm a pretty good person, but I'm a pretty shitty person. Like, as an artist, because I think we're so narcissistic. We talked about this earlier, is you have to have a certain level of narcissism to make you an artist of any sort. And I feel like that sort of plays into, like, oh, well, I'm awesome. I can jack off in front of this girl because I'm awesome. She obviously loves me.
Right, and nothing bad will happen.
And nothing bad will happen, and she wants this, and like, so there is part of me that I'm like, I'm not making excuses for people, but you do have to remember that, first of all, artists are artists because their brains are fucked up.
Yep. Yeah.
That I agree with. I don't know about narcissism necessarily.
You have to be at least somewhat narcissistic to believe that people want to consume your art. If you didn't, you wouldn't make it.
But it's interesting. I would say, yes, that you probably have to have some type of narcissistic qualities, I guess, as far as... I don't know if I would go that far, but...
I don't think people are nut jobs, like narcissistic personality, but I do think it does take a certain amount of egotism to be like, I'm gonna fucking make a film, and people are gonna want to read it, or But the difference for me is with Louis C.K., he had a total, first of all, disregard for boundaries overall. He specifically, he trivialized consent. He trivialized it. He said, you know what? I don't need to do that. I don't need to ask permission first. Or if I do ask permission, it doesn't matter what they say. He literally objectified women because a woman was the actual object. He was jerking off at them, which is fucked up because he wasn't even doing it to like. He was doing. Honestly, it seemed like
sensual.
Yeah, he was. It seemed like he was doing it to terrify them, which is scary as shit. Like, what are you doing, man? It just so happens he didn't, physically like assault them physically, but he still violated them. He still did wrong. And in his mind, though, he was like, "Oh, I can get away with this. It's fine." Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
People are shitty. People are shitty, but not all people are that shitty.
No,
you know what I mean?
like
that's like, it's like at the same time, it's like, man, people are people, but it's like, man, that's a fucked up kind of people.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of what fame happened. I think fame can really fuck people up.
I can't imagine ever being so narcissistic or famous that I'm doing things like that to other people.
Yeah.
I couldn't live with myself. I just can't do it.
I understand. I'm from a female perspective who's had many male bosses. Any man with any modicum of power does shit like that. And I'm saying that, and from my experience, every man I've been under, almost.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I will never. If you decide you want to be my friend, hang out with me, I will never, ever, 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 ever trivialize your experience. So if that is what you experience, I believe you 100%. And because I am a man and I've hung out with men, I don't doubt it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't have to have been there to be like, yeah, okay.
And to be fair, women can be super shitty too. I'm not like saying that.
But the thing is, no one. The thing that sucks when people are like, well, what about women? It's like, well, bitch, that's not the conversation we're having right now. That's not the conversation we're having right now. Okay, yeah, obviously women can be shitty if they want, whatever. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a system that has been set up of patriarchy. It's a patriarchal system that it's overwhelmingly negative now because it's like guys have this thing in their mind where it's like, oh, we can just do whatever we feel like. Women are still objects and they're not going to do anything about it because no one's going to believe them. And it's like, man, you've got to have there's got to be something really fucked up about you to make you think on that and then act on it.
Yeah.
You know?
I just hope that if I ever get into a position where I am over some folks and I ever show any kind of inkling that I would do that somebody would call me on it, because sometimes it takes being called on it because you just don't realize what you're doing.
And I just want to say, I'm not saying all men are. Like,
oh, it's okay. It's okay.
I feel like I kicked a wasp's nest.
If you did say that, it's okay. I wouldn't even argue with you on that either. I really wouldn't at this point.
What you think is what you think. It's fine. It's fine. I just hope that if I'm ever in the situation that I hope that doesn't apply.
Here's what I think. I think power in any situation is problematic, whether you're male or female, and how it comes out just differs. But I do think, just generally, power corrupts is what they say.
Sure.
And I think that's generally true.
Sure.
And but I agree with you. I think now, obviously, I think if you don't know that you shouldn't be jerking off in front of people without their permission, you probably just need to whatever. But I think that as a male, when it's not something that's like super obvious like that, I mean, it is nice to have someone that can hold you accountable, because I could say something that you don't like and I have no idea that you didn't like it. Yeah. I've dropped the F-bomb like 30 times today and you could have really hated that word.
Sure.
Have no idea if you don't tell me. I encourage people to call me on my shit. Yeah. Say, hey, Cliff, you did this thing this way, I didn't like it, here's why. Cool. Or you don't have to tell me why. You can just be like, Cliff, you did this thing, I don't like it. All right, awesome. Because at that point, I have to choose to process what you've said and accept it or not accept it or whatever, but I can't tell you that you're wrong for how you felt, because that's how you feel, that's what happened, that's how you've interpreted whatever happened. So the least I can do is hear you and act accordingly, you know?
And I think that's what all human beings should have, is that willingness to be told, hey, shouldn't use the C word during Christmas dinner. All right, Grandma, I got you. I hear you.
I hear you. Everybody heard it. You said it on the intercom. We're at Walmart still. I don't know why do we bring you here? Why do we do this every year?
But I do think that's something we've lost, is willing to be like, yeah, I was probably wrong in that situation.
Some people, a lot of people, their egos are immediately bruised on any kind of suggestion that they could have been in the wrong. Yeah. It's something that it takes a little bit of conscious effort to realize it's not all about me. I could have been guilty of that.
I will say, I think being an artist of any sort of helps you with that, because you're already used to criticism. Yeah. And I think it's easier to hear people say, you shouldn't have done that, when you're already used to people going like, that was shitty.
I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought, because, people will shit on you if you're in any way creative, or try 100%. To be. I'm not saying that I'm creative, but try to be in it at all. Yeah. You do anything outside the norm, or if you're in the norm, it doesn't matter.
But I believe you have to go.
I do.
Yes.
Well, we're out of time. Thank you so much for coming out, Cliff. We really appreciate you. It's been a great
been amazing.
conversation. This is exactly what we wanted to do on our show, is just have conversations with interesting people and get to know a little bit more how the local stuff has influenced you, but more importantly, just know how you think a little bit.
Well, I'm glad you think I'm interesting. Thank you. And please feel free to have me on again. This has been a blast. Like, it's been so much fun. Like, I'm glad I was able to, do it. I'm like, man, it's 9:07. Emily's going to be home in like 10 minutes. And I've not answered a single message from her. So she's going to be like...
At least you have film to show.
I have film evidence. I was here.
No, I appreciate you. You're always welcome. Yeah. You have a home at Tech Bohemia if you ever want to do anything with us. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
We want to, again, thank our GoFundMe folks that made all of this equipment possible. Thank you all for believing in the show, for giving us a little bit of money, and letting us get these cameras together. The audio tonight may have been a little echoey. It's a work in progress. The important thing is you got the content, you got to meet Cliff, and we will see you next Thursday, whether live or not. We shall see right here on Hometown East Tennessee. Thank you all.
Bye.
Night. Okay, wait. Which one? Okay. Which button?
Do I need to press this one?
Yes.